2 hours.
Sorry.
I feel like you guys got revenge.
Yeah, it was. Our trip last year was so nice.
I only hit a biker, almost a dog, and then we almost hit someone back into our car. Yeah. Well, technically I didn't hit the biker.
And you didn't hit the dog.
Yeah, I didn't hit the dog.
It was, we parked like, even before we got into like to go around to past our shop, we parked like 2 hours. And there was some ambulances coming, so there had to have been an accident or something. We should have just turned around and taken the ferry the other way around. But
Because
parked-
you were, yeah, the one that you guys were discussing, once you're discussing, like, there's no,
Yeah.
one time, I had a meeting, I had a huge conference that was organized at a hotel on the beach, never did it again. Because of that, there was an accident, and coming down, there was a 1% rise in gorgeous hotel, right? Relaxing. But the sunrise,
Sounds good.
Good morning to everyone. Bem-vindos ao Brasil for the people who've come from abroad, and for the people who are coming from outside São Paulo. Bem-vindos a São Paulo. Welcome to São Paulo. Welcome to the 9th annual IPSA USP Summer School. We're here. I'm the chair of the local coordinating committee, Professor Lorena Barberia. And on behalf of the committee, it's a pleasure to welcome all of you. For the opening ceremony, I'm going to be calling to the table the university authorities and the representatives of the International Political Science Association to join me for the welcome. So I'd like to call Professor José Eduardo Krieger, who's the provost for research at the University of São Paulo. Professor Marcelo de Andrado Romero, who's the provost for University Extension and Culture. Professor Álvaro de Vita, who's the head of the Department of Political Science at the University of Political Science. Professor Janina Unuki, who's the director of the Institute of International Relations. And representing the International Political Science Association, Professor Bruno Cautres. So welcome. Joining me in this order, I'm going to, each of them have a short welcome that they'd like to give to the group, and then I'll be making a short presentation at the end of their comments.
Good morning. It's a real pleasure to be here. And I want to emphasize that's an honor for the University of São Paulo to be hosting this meeting for the 9th time. It's an incredible experience, and I'm going to tell you what was my first contact with this initiative. 4 years ago, I began my term as a provost of research, and one of my first assignments in the middle of the I think most of you know that we are in the middle of the holiday, the vacation time in Brazil. Mm-hmm. And I was told that I had to be on an opening session of a summer school at the FEFELESH. And the last thing that I was expecting is to find a so unique type of summer school. First of all, is the level, the goals. Really the goals of the school, which is to convey and to expand quantitative methodologies in the area of humanities studies, I think is a fascinating aspect. The second one was to learn that students and teachers were from Brazil and especially from abroad. This was incredible. The level of internationalization, you all know that globally, there is a bandwagon in the sense of strategy to do internationalization. You all know the dozens or hundreds of MOUs that are signed. That doesn't happen, anything happens. And then we had this event which is carried in several parts of the world. But I think outside of Europe probably was one of the first schools, I think was here in Brazil, as Professor Lorena will tell us shortly. And I think it's quite exciting. And that's why I think it's an honor for the University of São Paulo. The major challenge is how to make this event sustainable. And of course, the organizers, the local organizers, and with the help with the international leaders, are making a major effort to do that. The provost office, the research provost office, attempted to also give some support, but I think this year is a turning point. And it's a turning point because we have the support, and I want to thank FAPESP for that, because it really was able to embrace some of the goals of FAPESP on internationalization with the ones of the summer school. And I think this was a very symbiotic move. And I hope, even though FAPESP has some specific roles of how these advanced schools can be carried out in terms of the number of them and so on. I think we have to be creative, and I have already discussed with some of the teaching leaders of this event how to make this a sustainable and also very good meeting. So again, I want to congratulate all of you, to welcome the ones that came from several parts of Brazil and different institutions, either students or faculty. And I hope you have a very productive discussion. I know that you are already 1/3 of the course, remaining 2/3, and hopefully you can also take advantage of the university environment and also the city environment to exchange impressions and make new friends here that also will be sustainable for the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. First of all, I'd like to thank you, Professor Lorena Barberia, the local coordinator of NITE's IPSA, USP Summer School, in the name of whom I greet all of teachers from University of São Paulo and abroad present here. Thank you so much for being here in our university, in our city, in our country. Beautiful country, I mean. I'd like to greet the following professors of USP and IPSA, such as Professor Krieger, Provost of Research of our university, Professor Marta Aresh, Deputy Provost of Research of our university, Professor Álvaro de Vita, Head of the Department of Political Science of my university, Professor Janino Nuuk, Dean of Institute of International Relations of our university. Okay. Professor Bruno Cautris from IPSA. Okay. First of all, thank you so much for the invitation to be part of this event in this morning. It's our pleasure to receive you here in this summer school in our university. I'm very proud to be part of this event because at the same time we are concerned with Brazilian problems and issues. We are also concerned in share our vision and our point of view of the current world with other nations, other universities, other people, and other forms of thinking. I have read the IPSA website yesterday night, and I found there one of the goals of this relevant institution, which is to bring together advanced social science scholars from the University of São Paulo, the rest of Brazil, other countries, in Latin America and abroad, world, in such a way to create broad research network that can stimulate the exchange of ideas, techniques, and advanced methods across national and sub-disciplinary boundaries. Very nice. All of these discussions are very timely in our country today because we believe in the power of political science to act in conflict resolutions and consensus building. I again congratulate the organizers of this event, and I wish that our university and IPSA could leave this summer school enlarged with the participation with all of you from different countries. Thank you so much.
Professor Álvaro de Vita.
On behalf of my department, the Department of Political Science, I'd just like to say how glad I am to see this 9th edition of the summer school taking place. Judging by the numbers and diversity, of course, being offered by the numbers of of students, of enrolled students, it's not an overstatement to say that this 90th edition is already a major success. By all accounts, it is a remarkable achievement for my department and our partners in this initiative, the IPSA and the Institute of International Relations at USP. The Department of Political Science gives high priority to the summer school. The department allocates a significant part of its limited financial and administrative resources to support the school. It did it from the very beginning when the school was created in 2009. I'm sure my department will keep this commitment in the coming years. But beyond the institutional support from us and from our partners, and now from other important institutions such as FAPESP, it is the dedication of people that matters more. In the person of Lorena Barberia, I wish to strongly congratulate the entire local organizing committee for the success of this 90th edition. It's a great pleasure for me to welcome students and instructors and wish you all a very productive summer school. Thank you very much.
Good morning. On behalf of the Institute of International Relations, I would like to welcome you all the students and professors who will be taking part on this 9th edition of IPSA USP Summer School. I would also like to thank Professor Lorena Barberia and all of my colleagues and staff's efforts to organizing this event. This team's work has also enabled the summer school to become an advanced school supported by FAPESP. Congratulations for that. This summer school has been one of the most successful endeavors of the Brazilian political science and international relations community, and the Institute of International Relations is proud to be a part of it. At the beginning of my term as director, I would like to ensure that the Institute will increase support to this initiative. I wish you all a pleasant and insightful time in the coming weeks. Thank you.
Professor Bruno Cautres now is going to speak on behalf of IPSA.
Okay, good morning. So,
I think it's not on.
does it work?
You can use it. You can use
I can
mine.
speak with it. So, thanks very much. So, on behalf of the IPSA, the International Political Science Association, I would like first to address a big thanks to the authorities, which are there at the desk on today, the authorities of the university, of the USP, the authorities of the department, and the different faculty members that are involved in the organization of the summer school. A big thanks to all of you, because we know from the IPSA side, we know how much work is it to organize yearly the summer school, how much involvement you have, and how much resources means human resource, economic resource you put in the organization of the summer school, and how good you have been in getting new resource. It's absolutely extraordinary what you are doing, and particularly this year where we have this big support from generous fundraising that you did. So first, a big thanks to the authorities. The second point is that it's the 9th edition. It is already 9th edition of the summer school. So if I'm good enough in numbers, 9 is just before 10. Do I? Yes, it's good. So next year is going to be the 10th anniversary of the summer school, and it reminds to me when I've got my first son. Actually, one of my colleagues, he was more mature than myself, and he was older than myself, and he told me, you will see, Bruno, before the age of 10, you drive, you control, you frame, and after 10, you educate. So the São Paulo Summer School doesn't need 10 years to be fully educated, and very, very soon, from the very beginnings of the São Paulo Summer School, the organization have been amazingly efficient, well-organized, perfectly educated. So thanks very much. Thanks to you, we know that you could be much more rapid than 10 years before to be educated fully. Let me talk a little bit about the objectives and the goals of summer schools from the IPSA side. And when I talk to anyone about the IPSA summer school, I did it recently in talking with other instructors. I always evocate the first email that I received from the mythic founding father of the IPSA summer school, Professor Dirk Bergschlosser, that nearly 10 years ago sent me an email, and the general mood of the email was, would you be interested to teach in Brazil, in São Paulo? And basically speaking, the big message of the IPSA, because at the time he was executive member of the IPSA, was to say, concerning methods, qualitative or quantitative concerning methods, the most important developments happen in North America and Europe. What have we done for the rest of the world? Are we doing it's not interesting, or on the contrary, do we consider that it's the full duty of major academics coming from this developed world to share all of that with the rest of the world? And I found the message so extraordinary that I immediately said a big yes, and that was the starting point of the São Paulo Summer School. The São Paulo Summer School has been the first one in the list of the IPSA summer schools that nowadays is much longer, because on today we also have an IPSA summer school in Singapore. There is another one in Mexico. There is a new one that was created recently in St. Petersburg in Russia. There used to be one in Ankara in Turkey. There will be probably a new project in Turkey. There is also something which is going to happen in South Africa. And there is even a new one, a French-speaking. That's amazing. We did it, a French-speaking summer school. So you could see how my country is good to do this kind of thing in Tunisia. So we have kept that first frame and first objectives that were to disseminate methods, quantitative, qualitative methods at the international level. But the São Paulo Summer School for us is not only the first in the long list of the IPSA Summer School on today, it's not only the first historically speaking. I would say that from the IPSA point of view, the São Paulo Summer School is also exceptional in its organization. Big thanks to the different local organizers that did it. The first generation, Mathieu and Leandro, Eduardo and Lorena, and now Lorena, Daniela, Glauco, and the other people working with them in the staff of the university. A big thanks to you, because the first reason why it is so successful is obviously because of you and because of your work, but also it's because of the absolutely amazing dream team of instructors and TA. We have mythic names in that long list of instructors. So you have all these people there. They are seated there. Their first name is going to be extremely famous to you if you start to come frequently to the IPSA Summer School. Derek, Lauren, Jason, Andy, Soledad, Alison. Few of them coming very, very soon. We have other mythic names, including the famous Guy Whiten, which is going to come very, very, very soon. That I have the privilege to be in charge with a guy of looking carefully to the São Paulo Summer School. But also the São Paulo Summer School is exceptional because of the incredible motivation of you, the participants. And also, I would say it is top rated for us in our heart by all these qualities. So thanks to all of you, and let's enjoy the second week, because actually we started a week ago.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you to everyone for your generous comments and generous welcome. I wanted to invite our distinguished guests to, if they want to join us in sitting down, because I have a short presentation, and in order to not everyone strain their necks, I'm going to ask you to seat so you can see what I'm showing the participants. Acho que consigo agora. Sim. Não, não. Vem. So, joining me is Professor Glauco Perez, who, along with me from the Department of Political Science, is a member of the local organizing committee. And he's also going to be technically assisting me with showing the slides. No está como PowerPoint. Está como, ¿você viu? Consigo, não está downloaded. See? Okay. And not with us today, but with us in spirit and soul is Professor Daniela Cecchini, who's from the Institute of International Relations, who's on maternity leave, but even throughout her maternity leave has been part of our committee and our efforts to organize the school. So as everyone has said, and just as a way of welcoming you to the school, but also as we believe the school is an institution that's building and strengthening research in political science in Brazil, but also across the world, because we think that the school is really contributing to advancing research. We want to tell you a little about the school and the school that you're now a part of as part of this year's class. So as everyone said, the goals of the school from the outset have been and continue to be as the school enters its 9th year, to train current and future scholars in cutting-edge social science methods. And the school from the onset has been plural in seeking to really build bridges between qualitative and quantitative data analysis. And so from the beginning of the school until this session, we really have worked hard to always bring cutting-edge methods, but cutting-edge methods across quantitative and qualitative divides. A second important mission or goal of the school has been to try to use the school and to build the school to build a broader network of scholars working at the universities of Sao Paulo, with the rest of Brazil, with Latin America, and the world. So creating an institution that serves to help bridge and create that network across communities. And lastly, serving as a reference in Latin America for the teaching of methods. So those have been our goals from the outset. And from the outset, the school is a joint initiative of the Department of Political Science and the Institute of International Relations, along with the International Political Science Association. This year, as everyone has said, we're really proud that the school has been chosen as one of the 13 schools in Brazil, in the state of Sao Paulo, that is an advanced school. So this year, the summer school is proud to recognize and thank FAPESP for the important support that we are receiving as an advanced school. In addition, we count on support from CNPq, which is a federal funding agency that helps to fund part of the school's activities. At the University of Sao Paulo, the summer school also receives important support from several institutions. One who we'd really like to thank, because from the beginning of learning about our work, Provost Krieger has made a really effort to say, how can my office help you guys? So thank you to the Provost's Office for Research, because they've been really proactive. Usually we're used to chasing people around, and he's been the first authority at the university to call the summer school and say, what you guys do matters, and I want to help. And not only one time, but every year he calls us and he says, what do you guys need this year? How can I help? So thank you very much to the Provost's Office. We're also very thankful to NECI, the nucleus. It's a research nucleus here housed at the University of Sao Paulo, closely affiliated with both of our departments, the Institute of International Relations and the Department of Political Science, and the Center for Metropolitan Studies, that now is also part of the University of Sao Paulo and housed here, and who many of you visited last week when we had a site visit. Both SEM and NECI are also very strong allies of the summer school, and we really want to thank them. We also are really thankful to several companies that are also helping the summer school. Ipsos has been a long-standing supporter of the school and provides travel grants for us to support students coming to the summer school. And Stata and the software shop are providing to us complimentary access for the students to have access to Stata and to NVivo this year, which we're using in the final week for the interview course. So thank you to these supporters of the summer school. Sorry that we downloaded the presentation as slides, but it's not working as slides. As Bruno said, now you as participants, there's a number of summer schools that IPSA has started. We are the first school of the IPSA schools, but today the IPSA schools, the oldest school is ours, but the Singapore school is now in its 6th session. We have a new school in St. Petersburg, which is on the right side. Flaxo houses the summer school in Mexico, which is on the bottom. Tunisia, as Bruno mentioned, is the first Francophone summer school that we'll be having of IPSA. And we also have, there's been several initiatives in Africa, in South Africa, mostly through the African Doctoral Academy that have been a partner in Africa to organize summer schools in Africa. And there was a summer school in Turkey, which is an initiative that we hope to continue. So as you can see now, you're a member of all these sister schools in the world, and we hope that you consider yourself as part of this network. This is a way that the summer school is also linking you to these other schools, and many of the instructors who are here are part and are participants in these other schools. So the IPSA Summer School is a part of this work. And one, actually, in the room, we have one student who's back, who can actually say, has been to these summer schools and has gone to a summer school in each of these regions. I don't know if you went to Turkey, but I want to recognize Alina from, yes? You didn't expect to be recognized. But you have, I think you deserve a special award from IPSA for your embracing of the summer school spirit and saying, I'm going to go to each summer school in the world. So Alina is here. She has, after, if you want to hear, she can tell you about all of her adventures all over the world in summer schools. But Alina's back because she was here in the summer school 4 years ago. So she's back. So that's also a statement of how much she loves our work. We've grown a lot over the years, and this is just to give you a sense of our growth and where we are today. So the summer school started in 2010 with less than 100 students. Today, we're at we have 162 participants, but even more important to us is that across time, the black line that's there is the number of different institutions from which students are coming. And as you can see from that line, gradually across time, we've brought in the number of institutions from which students are coming. And today in this session, in this school, we have participants from 97 institutions. That's something that's really impressive to us because we see that we're reaching across many, many institutions within Brazil and within Latin America and the world. So welcome to all of you and to the institutions that are here. Thankfully, as part of FAPESP support, part of those institutions for the first time, the summer school has made a special outreach effort to reach out to political science associations in Latin America primarily. So many of you are here representing Latin American political association. There's, for example, the Argentine Political Science Association, the Ecuadorian Political Science Association, for the first time are here with scholarships provided by FAPESP, and that's been an incredibly important part of our ability to grow the number of institutions. So you can see the black line from last year to this year, the number of students didn't grow that much. But what really made a difference, and FAPESP was instrumental to the school being able to make that, to have that result, the black line, the reason the curve is so steep of the black line going up so dramatically from about 60 different institutions to 97 today is because FAPESP. Because we have today, we were the ability to strengthen the network because of FAPESP support and really try to bring students from different parts of the world. Within Brazil, the same thing. We worked with the Brazilian Political Science Association, and we have 2 representatives here of each regional association of the Political Science Association. And that's something that we've never been able to do. Most of the participants from Brazil have been concentrated in Minas, Rio, and Pernambuco and São Paulo. And for the first time, we have students here. I don't know if she's here today, but we have a student here from Pará. If she's here, are you here? Aí. Psst. Please stand. We're so excited. Thank you for coming. We wanted to really broaden the school and make the school international. And part of that, it means reaching out and trying to find promising programs in political science in areas where we're starting to try to grow and to build new partnerships. One of those is in Africa, which has always been for the summer school really difficult for us to bring and to create further partnerships. So this year, through a former professor in our department who's now working in Rwanda, we contacted and tried to recruit with FAPESP funding to bring someone. And I want to recognize Professor Jean-Baptiste, if you can stand, because I think, just like we were saying, welcome. Alina was saying, we were saying Alina has a medal for going to the most summer schools of IPSA and learning about our work. I really have to make something to say that this is the people like Jean-Baptiste who make us believe in what we're doing. We wrote to him and we said, listen, we just got FAPESP funding, will you come? And we wrote to him on December 20th, and he said, I'm coming, and there's no consulate in Rwanda, so I'm taking a plane to Nairobi on December 22nd to come. And he waited. The consulate was closed. He waited until January when it reopened. He said, they won't receive me. I have to apply online. We said, no, stay in Nairobi. We'll call. We're going to make you get your visa. We worked really hard, and he arrived last week. So he's been trying to come to the schools. He's the person, I think, who we've never had a case like that. But since December 22nd, he's made that's how strong his commitment is to be here. And we're really humbled by people like you. We know a lot of you have made those kind of sacrifices to be here. And that's why as professors and as instructors, we really believe in what we're doing, and we're committed to making a difference to your work and your learning. And we're really humbled by people like you. And I know you represent a lot of the students in this class, that you're making such a strong effort to learn. And that's humbling for us and inspiring. So welcome. The other thing we want to say is in terms of how have we grown. We count you guys as students and as individuals, so there's 162 individuals. But the school, we count you as also as student modules, because since each of our courses is a one-week course, many of you continue and stay on for more than 1 week. So another way that the school is growing and that we've wanted to always grow is deepen what students do once they arrive in the school. And so again, with FAPESP support, one of the conditions for the grant that we received this year as an advanced school was that each student had to have at least 2 weeks of coursework. And for us, that was, yes, that's what we want. The more the students are in the school, the better for the school. So there's also been a dramatic increase from 282 student modules to 309. That is really thankful to FAPESP, because part of that dramatic increase is thanks to FAPESP support. We always like to show these maps because we say that we're international and we're growing as a school, but it's also dramatic to see over time. So this is how the school started. The colored regions are the regions where students came from in the first sessions. And the blue courses, I'm not going to read all of for each slide, but it shows you in the first summer school, we only had 6 courses. So it was a smaller summer school, smaller number of regions. Glauco's going to pass through the next slides. As you're going to see, across time, our map starts to grow. We start to get more colors, right? And as you see, the number of courses also starts to grow. So across each year, we've brought in the number of courses, the number of disciplines that we're trying to integrate. This year is when Alina comes. That's why we have the Russian Federation colored. And this is as we're growing and as we're evolving. The first time we had a student from China in the program. We also have Professor Ji. I don't know if he's here from China this year. Yes? Please stand. Welcome. So again, thank you very much. So by last year, you can see the number of courses is already coloring the map. It's overcoming the map, right? We have 20 courses, 1-week courses, intense, incredible courses being offered. And this is this year. So I just want to go backwards. Go back before. That's last year. That's without FAPESP funding for an international school. Look at the color of the map. Look at this year what we were able to do with FAPESP. And if we could do for Brazil, it would see the same thing. Those colors, a lot of that has to do with FAPESP support. The school is really strong, and we're really happy to have such a diverse school because we think it's important for the work that we do and the institution we're building. So welcome, and these are the courses we're going to have this year. I'm going to talk a little bit, and this is the map up to now. So Bruno said, aha, your 9th year. We have 1 year coming up. Guess what we're trying to do with the map? To tell you a little bit about the school, and Bruno mentioned already, but I just want to share, we always, when we start the school, we want to recognize and we want you to know the people who started this wonderful initiative, some of whom are no longer coming to the school but are following its work. So Bruno mentioned Professor Dirk Berg-Schlosser, who was the founder of the IPSA summer schools and who had the idea. In our department, Professor Matthew Taylor, who is now at American University, was fundamental to getting our summer school started. And in terms of the senior veteran teaching faculty of the school, Bruno Cautres and Guy Witten, they have, just like Alina, you get a medal. They have a medals because their medal is they have come across the, in the middle of every year, no matter what day we say the summer school will be, Bruno and Guy have committed for 9 years in a row, have never let us down to be instructors in the school. That's an incredible support of our work. That is something that we have no words to say, right? Because we can count on them every year to be here. So there are senior veteran faculty, there are the people who guide us. As we said, the summer school stands on the shoulders of giants. And so this is a list of all the faculty who have taught in the school. As you can see, faculty who have come from very diverse countries, France, Budapest. Each year the school has had really interesting cutting-edge faculty from across the world. Some of those faculty are here. Some of them have come and will be coming back in the future, we hope. But we want to also recognize them because this is part of our network and of our school. And the faculty, even if they're not teaching this year, we still consider to count them as part of our school. And finally, now I want to introduce as Bruno said, the faculty who are here this year. So the faculty who were really delighted to acknowledge who are here. We've worked really hard each year of the summer school that there's a lot of geniuses. There's a lot of really smart professors. But when we recruit professors for the school, the criteria of the school from the outset it has to be someone who loves to teach and who is a great teacher. And these people that we're about to recognize, they all share that criteria. So we're very thankful to them because it's hard with all the pressures we face in academia to also love and be committed to teaching. And these are those people. They're great scholars, but they're also incredible teachers. So I want to recognize the faculty who are teaching. Some of them are teaching this week. Some of them already have taught, but we're really lucky to have here. So I want to start with Professor Alison Benton from CIDE from Mexico. She was here teaching last week, designing feasible research projects in political science. Andrew Phillips from the University of Colorado at Boulder, who is joining me, and we're jointly teaching the time series courses. The first 2 courses, we taught one course last week. We'll teach a course this week. And then joining us will be Guy Witten for the 3rd week. Bruno Cautres, yes, who teaches quantitative analysis for public policy. 2 weeks. He taught last week the basic course, and this week is the advanced course. Professor Derek Beach, who also he's a runner-up for the medal. Yes, you're close to Bruno and Guy. He wasn't here for the first year, but he's getting close, right? So Derek is here. He's been a long supporter of the summer school. This year is going to be teaching the basics casual case studies course in the first week, but then the second week we'll be teaching process tracing for the first time. Glauco, who's here by my side. Jason Seawright from Northwestern University. Jason is going to be teaching the multi-method courses. He starts this week and will also teach next week. Laron Williams, who will be teaching the spatial econometrics course. Leonardo Baroni isn't here. He was here last week. He's in our department as a postdoctoral fellow and taught a course on applied data analysis. Melanie Kamet will be arriving next week and will be teaching an interview course the 3rd week. Patrick Jackson will be arriving next week as well and is going to be teaching a new course for the first time. He's taught several times in the summer school, but this time is going to be trying a new course that he'll be teaching on different approaches, philosophical approaches. And then the last member is Soledad Archiz Priliman, who is here from Newfield College at Oxford University, who's going to be teaching the survey courses. Here, this is who the local organizing committee is. So me, Glauco, and Daniela, I think this is okay. But one of the things I wanted to also acknowledge is we're really lucky to have, as part of the summer school, also an incredible help and really strong support for the work we do in the courses through the teaching fellows. So I just wanted to acknowledge, again, with FAPESP support this year, we've been able to broaden the number of teaching fellows coming. And so we have a very diverse number of teaching fellows, not only from Brazil, but Ed, if maybe we can, if you see your name here, we can all stand, but I'm going to read your names. Ed Goldring from the University of Missouri. Flavio Souza from Texas A&M University. Gabriela Rosa, yes. Helen Guicheny. Kelly Sinters from the University of Iowa. Marina Merlo from the Department of Political Science. Mauricio Izumi, he's not here. He's here. He's here. Mauricio has a reputation, as other people have a medal for being somewhere. Mauricio is usually in the lab trying to solve the problems. When we want to acknowledge him, he's trying to do more advanced work in the lab. But this time you're here. I can't believe it. Natalia Kalfat, who's also returning and in the Department of Political Science. Rodrigo Nakahara, who probably is also another one that always tries to go to the lab. Natalia Suzuki, who's not here probably because she'll be joining us next week from the Department of Political Science. Thiago Silva, who is here from Texas A&M University. And Yu Sung Jung will be joining us next week, who will also be a teaching fellow from Texas A&M. So welcome also, and thank you to the teaching fellows. What you do is really important to the success of the courses we're teaching. I also wanted to end in saying thank yous to also thank the supporting staff of the school. Throughout the year, we have Carlos helping us. He's the person who's working on helping with the application system and answering emails, so Carlos Eduardo Goulart. And we have a Síntesis Eventos, which is helping us with the actual organization of the event and a lot of the logistics. So we want to thank Camilo, Ana Maria, Casio, and Daniela. Camilo and his team are the team that is in the Secretariat office and who are handling your questions. And that's the place to direct if you have questions or logistical needs. That's where to go first. From the Department of Political Science, Marcia Stacks and Vasni dos Santos, who are here and always we're always thankful throughout the year for all of their work. The IT department at USP, these are not the only two people, but Deidson Rafael, Assad is here, and your name is not here, but Assad is part of the team, and Orlando. These are the people who help us with the labs and all the audiovisual needs, so thank you to that team. Valjir and Otavio from General Services, and Patricia Stacks from the Institute of International Relations. So thanks to all the staff. They're in the background, but they're fundamental to the work we do, and we wanted to say a special thank you. So that's it. We're done. Now you have, we're going to be, what we'd like to do is we want to invite all of you. There's a short coffee break outside. In about 15, 20 minutes, we're going to be circulating up to the rooms and starting classes. So welcome to everyone. It's going to be an intense, fun week of learning. Thanks for everything, for coming to the school, and thanks to all the university authorities for coming to welcome the participants.
Teve um monte